What if I told you that a 300 credit score, the kind most people think is a financial death sentence, can turn into a 700 in just 6 months, without winning the lottery, without committing fraud, and without knowing someone on the inside? Here's the mystery. Millions try and fail for years, yet a small group quietly pulls it off again and again. Same system, same rules, different outcome. So what's really going on? Is the credit system broken, or are we just playing it wrong? Stay with me, because the answer isn't what most gurus want you to believe. To understand how someone goes from 300 to 700, you first have to understand what a credit score actually is, and more importantly, what it is not. A credit score is not a measure of your income. It's not a measure of your intelligence, and it's definitely not a measure of your worth. A credit score is a risk-ranking tool created to answer one simple question for lenders: how likely is this person to not pay us back? The modern credit scoring system emerged in the mid-20th century, but everything changed in 1989 with the rise of the FICO score. Instead of human judgment, algorithms now decided who got approved, at what interest rate, and who was shut out entirely. 5 factors became the backbone of the system: payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, credit mix, new credit inquiries. Notice something strange? Nowhere does it ask why you missed a payment. Nowhere does it care if you lost a job, had a medical emergency, or were never taught how credit works. That's the first twist. The system isn't emotional. It's mechanical, and mechanical systems can be reverse-engineered. Let's start at the bottom. A 300 credit score doesn't happen overnight. It's usually the result of stacked cause and effect failures. It often begins with one missed payment, then another, then a maxed-out card, then collections, then maybe a charge-off or a repossession. Each event compounds the next. Here's the key insight most people miss. A credit score doesn't collapse because of time. It collapses because of momentum. Negative momentum. Late payments trigger penalties. Penalties raise balances. Higher balances increase utilization. Higher utilization lowers the score further. By the time someone hits 300, the system has labeled them as high risk, and everything becomes harder. Higher interest, fewer approvals, more rejections. Most people stop here. They assume recovery takes years. That assumption is exactly what keeps them stuck. Now here's where the story takes a sharp turn. While negative actions compound slowly, positive corrections can compound fast if you hit the right levers in the right order. The credit system is front-loaded. Certain changes have an outsized impact early on. For example, fixing utilization can boost a score in 30-60 days. Removing inaccurate negatives can cause sudden jumps. Adding positive trade lines can immediately rebalance risk. This is why 6 months isn't magic. It's math. Think of credit scoring like a scale. At 300, the scale is heavily tilted toward risk. Your job isn't to be perfect. It's to shift the weight fast. This is where people who succeed do something different. They stop trying to be good and start trying to be strategic. Here's the breaking point moment in almost every successful turnaround story. The person realizes, I don't need to fix everything. I need to fix the right things. Payment history makes up roughly 35% of your score. But here's the twist. Recent activity matters more than old mistakes. Credit utilization is about 30%, and this is where the biggest gains happen the fastest. Someone at 300 often has maxed out cards, small limits, high reported balances. When utilization drops below key thresholds, like 50%, 30%, and especially 10%, the algorithm reacts immediately. This is why some people see a 100-point jump without paying off all their debt. It's not about being debt-free. It's about how the debt is reported. That realization is the moment the system stops feeling unbeatable. So if it's possible, why doesn't everyone do it? Because most people fall into one of 3 traps. Trap 1. They focus on old negatives instead of current data. They obsess over a 5-year-old late payment instead of fixing today's utilization. Trap 2. They wait too long. They believe the myth that time heals credit, when in reality, strategy does. Trap. 3. They follow generic advice. Just pay your bills on time is true, but incomplete. The system rewards specific behaviors, not good intentions. And when people don't see fast results, they give up, right before the compounding effect kicks in. Let's clear something up. These things alone will not take you from 300 to 700 in 6 months. Closing all your accounts, avoiding credit entirely. Paying off collections without strategy, randomly applying for new cards. In fact, some of these can make things worse. The system doesn't reward silence. It rewards controlled, positive activity. Every failed fix usually shares the same flaw. It ignores how the algorithm actually updates risk. Here's where this story gets bigger than just credit. Today, over 1/3 of adults have subprime or near-prime credit. At the same time, lending algorithms are becoming stricter, not looser. The pattern is repeating. Those who understand systems move ahead. Those who rely on myths fall behind. We see this in credit, we see it in investing, we see it in careers. The people who win aren't smarter, they're better informed. And the shocking part? The rules are public. They're just rarely explained in order. So let's close this mystery with 3 clear takeaways. Takeaway. 1. A 300 credit score is not a permanent label. It's a temporary data snapshot. Takeaway. 2. Speed comes from leverage. Fixing high-impact factors beats slow perfection. Takeaway. 3. The credit system doesn't reward effort. It rewards alignment with its rules. Here's the warning. If you don't learn how the system works, you'll spend years blaming yourself for outcomes that were never personal. And the open-ended question I'll leave you with is this. If a system controls access to housing, transportation, and opportunity, shouldn't understanding it be considered a life skill? If this changed how you see credit, even a little, hit the like button so more people see it. Subscribe if you want deeper breakdowns of money systems most people were never taught. And comment below, what's the lowest credit score you've ever seen recover? Because the difference between 300 and 700 isn't luck. It's understanding the game.